Hope you're all keeping well and staying safe. Been finding myself thinking of late of that great titan, Prometheus. You see, in our town centre, outside of what used to be Lewis's, looms a sculpture that to many is known as Jack Frost or the Sparky Man. However, in actuality, this sculpture is called the Spirit of Fire, an aspect of the Greek Titan. Symbolic of this county's industry, the heat of the kilns and the clay ovens. For it were Prometheus who defied the gods and gifted fire to mankind, an act he was summarily punished for, chained to a rock, where each day a great eagle would feast upon his liver. A bit overkill if you ask me, but then again, the gods ain't exactly famous for their forgiving nature. Anyway, forgive me such musings, for I have something to relate that is much stranger than talk of gods and monsters. A series of events that, though outwardly unrelated, under further scrutiny seem to be connected in a rather uncanny way. You see, the day after we closed up, I was cleaning up in the bar when I comes across this black leather satchel under one of the tables. The satchel was stamped with a logo of a company called Synbrio Research and Development. That's when I remembered a bloke had been sitting at that table the night previous. Never seen him before, certainly weren't a regular. Just been sitting there taking notes, looking somewhat concerned the old time. Kind of had the expression of a man who'd seriously shat the bed, if you get what I mean. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I put the satchel aside and carried on clearing up. Stopped around 12 to take some lunch and have a read of the local rag. That's when I came across an article, Slaughter on the Edge. Well, that's an eye catcher if ever there was one, I thought, and I got to reading. The article read, on the morning of Thursday, March 22nd, Mr. Albert Cotswain, owner of Cotswain Farm, aged 65, woke up to a scene of utter carnage. His prize ram, Mr. Ned, had been unceremoniously slaughtered. Mr. Cotswain remarked, I woke at 5 a.m. and set to feeding the animals. I always feed Mr. Ned first. He's my pride and joy. 3 times county prize winner. On entering his paddock, he was nowhere to be seen. Strange, I thought, as he usually comes straight to me. So I had a look round for him and spied what I thought was him milling round by a briar patch, up at top end of his enclosure. Well, let's just say it was what was left of him. All over the place he was, slit belly to breast, bits of him everywhere. Mr. Cotswain went on to remark that the likely culprit was an escaped dog from a neighbouring breeder. Police have asked any who know more about the incident to come forward as a point of urgency. Well, the article had me thinking back a couple of weeks. I remember I'd just come back up from the cellar to find Cotswain and another patron, a Mr. Sam Pickett, having a rather heated debate in the bar. "You bloody dogs! Made a right mess of Dolly, they have. You want to keep them locked up, Sam? They're a bloody menace." Don't know what you're talking about, Albert. If anything, it's you who wants to keep a better eye on your flock. 3 times this month I've had your sheep wander onto my land. Your fences and edges are all to cock, mate. Maybe hire some help. Stop hassling me. No wrong with my bloody fences, Sam. It's your bloody terriers they're the issue. You all know what goes on up at Mullin's barn of a Saturday night. The money that changes hands. I hope you're not implying what I think you're implying, Albert. I have nothing to do with that kind of thing. I'm a licensed breeder. I breed staffies. That's it. Don't you be casting aspersions. Oh, that's right, is it? I'm just a friendly dog breeder. Look at all my lovely little puppies. Well, why has one got the head the size of a fucking Volkswagen then, Sam? That ain't a fucking pet, is it? Lay off now, Albert, you're winding me up. I don't tell you how breed sheep, do I? Don't ask why half your flock have cleft lips and bandy legs. You cheeky little bastard. Come here. I'll give you bandy legs. Come here. Oi! Hope you ain't causing trouble in my bar, Albert. No, Jack. Just having a bit of a disagreement, like. Well, you carry on. You'll be arse first out that door. Now go on. The pair of you. Separate. No. I'd just like to point out that I'm reluctant to believe these attacks are out to do with Sam's staffies. He's brought a couple in here on occasion, and despite the fact that they are absolute units, they're about as soft as they come. Plus, the attacks on Mr. Ned. Slit belly to breast, it said. Not something a dog can do, is it? Anyway, I finished up the article and cracked back on. Put the whole thing out of my mind. Till yesterday. I was up in office sorting out the accounts, doing the old calculations and all that. Dull work. Had the TV on as a bit of background, helps me concentrate. When who should come on the news but old Egbert Mullins? Odious little bastard, that man. What happens up at that barn ain't just rumours in my opinion. Anyway, I decided to pause on my work. Not often you see a member of the community on the afternoon news after all. Seems his wife Sandra had been attacked by something unusual. I made a recording of the interview. Makes for strange listening. The interview was conducted over Skype, so if the audio's a bit iffy, apologies for that. Anyway, here it is. Mr. Mullins? Mr. Mullins, can you hear me? Is this on? Is it? Hi. I can hear you. Good. Well, good afternoon. First of all, how is Mrs. Mullins getting on? Oh, she's bearing up. Bit shaken, as you would be. Made a right mess of her, it has. She's healing up nice. She's doing all right. That's good to hear, Mr. Mullins. Wishing your wife a speedy recovery. So, can you tell me what happened and what your wife saw? Aye, of course. She were out with my youngest Elsie, doing a daily walk. Takes 'em up by the poultry farm. Doing us out of business, that place is. On eggs. Ate 'em, I do. Sorry. Got a bit carried away there. So, Sandra and Elsie were up by the poultry farm, like I said. Decided to take a bit of a detour into Baxley Wood. Pick some wildflowers. Hadn't been more than 10 minutes when Sandra said she heard a strange noise. Like this weird clicking sound, followed by low whistling She thought out of it, carried on, and all of a sudden little Elsie started shouting, "Big birdie, big birdie." So our Sandra looks up at where Elsie's pointing, and bold as brass, says bird, but not a bird, if you get what I mean. At first she took it to be like some really big rooster, but it was way too big, like way too big. And it just stood there, no fear, looking at her, bobbing its head up and down. That's when she said she noticed its face. Kinda lizard-like, no beak, So she grabbed our Elsie and turned to go. That's when she heard this shriek from behind her, and bang, this thing were on her, pinning her right to the ground. Of course, poor Elsie bolted, screaming, "Help, help, the birdie's got me mummy, the birdie's got me mummy." All the while, this thing's having a right good go at our Sandra. Said she felt its claws raking at her, that reptilian mouth nipping at her neck, tearing bits of flesh like. Thought she was done for. It's when she heard barking, and like that, whatever it was gone. Thank God for Sam. He were walking his dogs up that way. Spotted Elsie. If you don't believe what I'm saying, you can ask him. He'll tell you. Caught a glimpse of it, he did. Said it had a tail, long and rigid, with a fan of green feathers. Weren't no chicken, put it that way. And you tell me this. If it was just a chicken, why did our Sandra have some spook come and write her a big fat cheque, not but a day later, asking where it all happened, and telling her to keep quiet? Well, I won't keep quiet. What do you mean by a spook? You know, some shady looking type in a suit. Said he were there on behalf of some company, Symbrio or something like that. Something dodgy going on at that poultry farm, if you ask me. I tell you, the truth will out. The truth will out. The interview goes on for a further 20 minutes, but most of that's just Mullins going on about reptile people and other such conspiracy bollocks. But still, my cogs were turning. Symbrio. Where'd I heard that name before? Weren't that the company name on that satchel that I'd found in the bar? Now, I'm not one to go rummaging through other people's belongings, but what can I say? I was intrigued. So I snaps open the satchel to find a number of different files, containing what looked like research documents. Most of it may as well have been written in Greek. What I know of science, especially that pertaining to the field of genetics, I could quite happily write on the inside of a ping pong ball. That said, it were quite clear what the intended result of this particular experiment were. The activation of atavistic genes in chicken embryos. The cultivation of physical characteristics that harken back to a more primordial era, predating the dawn of man. In short, they were making a dinosaur, one of the predatory theropod variety. And if Mullins' account of what happened is to be believed, it looks like they succeeded. Something else to note, that poultry farm, close to where the incident took place, well, turns out it's owned by no other than Symbrio. Could it be it's but a front for something far more nefarious? Well, I don't know. Probably all just coincidence. But put it this way, I reckon I'll be buying organic from now on. Until next time, stay safe.